合唱。ナモアミダ仏。
ナモアミダ仏。
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 ナモアミダ仏。ナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダ。Hello, and welcome to the 2020 December TSDBT Shotsuki service. The Shotsuki service is a service where we gather together to remember those who have passed in the month of December. For this service, we will be chanting Juseige. The Juseige can be found on page 57 in the blue Denver service book. We will then have a reading of the Shotsuki names for the month of December. We will then have a chanting of the Rogemon, the creed, in both Japanese and English. You can find the English translation on page 103 in the blue Denver service book. We will then have a Dharma talk by Reverend Noritaka Imada. Thank you very much for attending this service. And the ministerial staff here would like to ask your forgiveness for us wearing masks on camera. This is in accordance with local, state, and federal health regulations, and we're trying to protect ourselves as well as the Sangha in large. Thank you very much.
가곤 조세간 희심무조노 시간 불만족 세부조성악 가오무료고 의다이세슈 의사이쇼빙의 세부조성악 가시조분노 묘쇼조지포 극교미쇼노 세부조성악 리오크긴쇼넨 조에슈봉요 시그무조노 이쇼텐인시 진리키엔나이코 의쇼무사이도 쇼조상금요 고사이슈야쿠난 가이히치에겐 내시콘모안 헤이소크쇼아쿠도 쓰닷젠슈모 고소조만족 이여로지포 니치간 슈주기 텐코 公正苦読法上大衆従説法四式供養一切部具足習徳法元年心上満徳一三概要女仏無下知津達未不詳願学営利投資最小尊志願や国家大戦の感動国書天人当宇珍妙形ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがんにしくのく病のせいさいのほんも大心往生安楽ナモ阿弥陀仏。
ナモアミダ仏。
ナモ阿弥陀仏。
ナモアミダ仏。
ナモ阿弥陀仏。
ナモアミダ仏。ナモアンダ。ナモアンダ。ナモアンダ。ナモアンダ。ナモアンダ。
Good morning, everyone. Today is the day of Shotsuki service. The Shotsuki service is a monthly service for we remember all of those who have passed away in the month. So I will now read the Shotsuki names. If you would like to, you're invited to do oshoko or incense offering at your altar in remembrance. Mei Doida, Reverend Doei Fuji, Nancy Matsuda, Izo Onoda, Leonard Mizuno, Frank Sakamoto, Jim Ward, Isao John Takata, Hatsumi Takata, Gladys Taniwaki, Kohana Yamashita, Kiwa Tawara, Francis Yoshi Nishimura, Junji Arakawa, Oscar Mizuno, Richard Ota, Luis Ota, Jim Kanemoto, Kiyo Sasaki, Kaori Kajiwara, Sari Tawara, Sanae Sogi. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Naman Nav, Naman Nav, Naman Navts, Naman Nav, Naman Navts.
We'll now have a reading of the Rogemon in both Japanese and in English. Please follow along. Moromoto no zogyo zashu, jiriki no kokoro o furisutete, isshin ni amida nyorai, warare ga kondo no ichidaiji no gosho, ontasuke sorai to tanomi moshite soro. Tanomu ichinen no toki, ojo ichijo ontasuke jijo to zonji. Kono ue no shomyo wa gon hosha to zonji, yorokobi moshi soro. Kono on koto wari chomon moshi wake soro koto gokaisan shonen goshusei no goon. Shidai sojo no zenji shiki no asakarazaru gonkanke no goon to arigataku zonji soro. Kono ue wa sarame okase raruru on okite ichigo wo kagiri mamori mosu beku soro. We rely upon Tathagata Amitabha with our whole heart for enlightenment in the life to come, abstaining from all sundry practices and teaching, and giving up the trust in our powerless selves. We believe that the assurance of our rebirth through his compassion comes at the very moment we rely upon him, and that we call the name Namu Amida Butsu in happiness and with deepest gratitude. We also acknowledge the grateful and benign benevolence of our founder and succeeding masters who have led us to believe in this profound teaching, and we do now endeavor to follow throughout our lives the way laid down to us. Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Passages on the land of happiness states, I have collected true words to aid others in their practice for attaining birth, in order that the process be made continuous without end and without interruption, by which those who have been born first guide those who come later, and those who are born later join those who were born before. This is so that the boundless ocean of birth and death be exhausted. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Hello everyone. Welcome to TSDBT's YouTube service. Today's Shinran Shonin's passage is written in Kyogyo Shinshu. That means if you are born earlier, you can teach and guide those who were born later. And if you were born later, let's ask them about how to walk the way. And here's the words written by my father. He said, if the person walks as always asking the way, they don't get lost. That's very simple, but that makes sense. But by the way, the discussion class for last week, we talked about science and religion. And I think today's passage would work for science too. And first, science is the phenomena which was discovered and named by humans. But it was existed there before we find. And those things are repetitive knowledge. And it was discovered by people who live in the past. And it was taught to us. So we can create new things with their knowledge. Even though it is still difficult to explain the life or consciousness or emotions in science, so sometimes it doesn't have an answer, or the answer changes, depends on the situation. So, and here's a story about difference in importance of life between birds and humans. Birds and humans. So I like to share the story of King Shibi. This is one of the story from Jataka tales. King Shibi. Once upon a time, there was a king called Shibi in India. One day, King Shibi was sitting in a chair in his room inside the castle. All of a sudden, a little pigeon came into his room from the window. The pigeon said, "King, please help me. A huge hog is trying to eat me." So I ran away. And King Shibi said, "Oh, okay." And he hit the pigeon. And then hawk come and said, "King Shibi, I saw the pigeon escaping here now. Please return it to me." And king thought, "Oh, if I return the pigeon now, maybe the pigeon will be eaten by this hawk." So he said, "I cannot return him." And then the hawk said, "Hey, king, I haven't eaten for days. If I cannot eat him, I think I will die soon. Hey, king, it is okay if I die by helping the pigeon?" And king was embarrassed, and he couldn't answer. And after thinking for a while, king said, "Okay, please eat my body." And the king cut out his thigh meat of his leg as much as the size of a pigeon and gave it to the hawk. And the hawk was a little surprised to see it. But the hawk said, "King, that's not enough meat. It's certainly about the same size as a pigeon." But the king had no choice. He cut out more tight meat on his opposite leg and gave it. But hawk said, "It is still not enough." And king says, "Really?" And the king prepared the balance to measure the weight. And he put the pigeon on the plate, and he put 2 pieces of his thigh on the opposite plate. And his thigh should be heavier, but the pigeon's plate are heavier and hang down. And king says, "Is this scale broken? Let's try it again with a new scale." And he tried a new one, but it was the same. The pigeon was heavier. And the king quietly thought, "It's strange." And then the king said, "Oh, I understand." And he climbed on the scale. And he was right, because balance showed exactly the same weight. And then king realized that the life of the pigeon or king or hog are just same and precious. And there's no difference between the life of bird or human or adult or kids or even tree or flower. And after he realized that, the king said to the hawk, "Okay, please eat me and live your life." And then the hawk transformed into the Taishakuten, The Taishakten is one of the guardian deities in Buddhism. The Taishakten says, King Shibi, you realize the preciousness of life, and you give me your life. Your behavior is truly wonderful and warm, so you will surely be a Buddha. This is the story of King Shibi. There is no answer to the question which life is most important, because we all feel that our own life is the most important. And each of us has different views. So this is the reason why we can't explain about life or emotion, consciousness. But when Shakyamuni Buddha was born, he said, Tenjo Tenge Yuiga Dokson. That means, I am the only one person who exists in this world. And also, you are the only one person who exists in this world. That means all lives are precious and equal. So I like to appreciate the people who helped spread the teaching. And I am glad to see that this teaching will continue to spread into the future. Thank you very much. Namo Amida Buddha. 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 Namo Amida Buddha.
伝え